Dzień dobry, nazywam się Błażej Hrabkowicz. To jest 61. Krakowski Festiwal Filmowy. Z nami wspaniały gość. Our guest is the director, the co-director of competition film Lost Boys, współreżyser filmu konkursowego Straceńcy, Sadri Cetinkaja. Hello, nice to have you here.
Hello, nice to meet you again. And it's an honor to have our film on your festival.
So your film, actually, when it begins, it really made me think about a David Lynch film. I don't know why, but it's this, and even the very particular scene from one of the episodes of Twin Peaks. It's very similar, and I don't know if this was conscious on your part, but even if it wasn't, then when I was watching your film, I realized that this feels like a descent into nightmare, which is a very Lynchian thing to do. And I'm wondering if this descent into nightmare was your idea from the start.
Definitely the theme of descent to the nightmare, as you say, or personally, I was visualizing it descending into metaphorical hell.
Mm-hmm.
And the reference to David Lynch, well, I mean, I'm a great fan of David Lynch, and I've seen Twin Peaks probably a dozen times in my life. So even though I cannot say that there was a particular inspiration in the scenes, but I'm sure this kind of film would probably be impossible for me to make without David Lynch's influence coming, whether I want it or not, you know.
Yeah, I'm a big Lynch fan.
He's a master of nightmare.
He definitely is, and this is like you said, a metaphorical hell, and maybe not so metaphorical, also because this journey that you're taking us on, and this journey that the characters experienced is they went through hell, they went to hell. And when you encountered that story, when you found this story, did you immediately think about it in these terms, that this is going to be journey into hell?
Not immediately. Well, encountering this story, we encountered this story when we got the news from Yanni's family that dead in Cambodia.
Mm-hmm.
So the immediate thoughts were to find out what happened. So basically, it was possible for Jonas to go there right away. So we packed him some camera and whatever we got our hands on. I gathered around the material he had been filming, he was partying with the guys. But yeah, the point when Jonas got back from his first reconnaissance, so to speak, was pretty obvious that there was a very dark story. And well, at this point, we took up this whole story of Heart of Darkness, or basically what Apocalypse Now was based on. So.
Yeah. I've the Lynchian reference was the first thing that came to my mind, and the second was Heart of Darkness, literally. And then it turned out that there is a nightclub there, Heart of Darkness, which is shown in a film, which it's kind of darkly funny that they are sort of, the people there are sort of self-aware of this, they sort of live in this Heart of Darkness, and to name the nightclub in this kind of reality, Heart of Darkness, seems like even if it isn't, it seems like a dark joke in a way.
Yes, I'm sure whoever has put up this nightclub has been aware of the literary connotation.
Yeah.
But when it regards to our film, you have to remember that the places the film goes are the dark holes in the place. It's not for everybody. Cambodia can also be a very nice place. It's not all part of darkness.
Oh yeah, it's important to mention maybe that because someone who wanted to visit Cambodia or Thailand, they will see your film and they will think it's a place to avoid because it's so terrible and dark. But of course,
I guess it depends what you're going to do on your holiday. But yeah, the traveling boards of the places we have been making films so far not very happy probably about our. Same thing with Rovaniemi, the northern town. The previous film was about the hometown of Jani and Jonas and Antti. They weren't that happy about the film, which basically depicted the town as the drug center of Lapland.
I think it's safe to say you don't make a tourist folders, and you make a pretty hard documentary films. But you say about you're speaking about encountering this story when you found out about Yanni's death, and then you say about your previous film. You're talking about your previous film about Yanni and Jonas' hometown. What is your exact connection to Jonas, to Yanni, to the characters in your film? Because I think this may be an important context for the film, for the story.
My exact connection is to Jonas. I met him. Well, I had previously met him very briefly years and years ago, but when we started to do reindeer spotting, he had already shooted the footage, and basically he had a plastic bag full of mini DV tapes he didn't really know what to do with. So I met him, had brief discussions about film, and then he went to India for a year to study while I started to edit the film. What's found from the same starting point. It's a pile of raw footage that have something dug out. I met Yanni a few times. I have never met. I have never visited Rovaniemi exactly. How would you say, easier to make a story, maybe, if you are not so connected personally to it. You can see how you can build a compelling story around the confinements of reality, so to speak.
Yeah. Was it difficult? How was it difficult for you in telling that story and being so connected to Jonas? Did you have any doubts during the filming that, for example, if I use this shot or if I use that, if I film that, there can be damage done to the people I know?
Well, when it comes to Jonas, of course, he did have a look and the final word on what is actually going in the film, which is also was very important because he's the one who actually knows and is in contact with the people, other people than himself. Film, so the end, everything had to be going through him and his final judgment. And when it comes to Jonas's own character, especially in Lost Boys, Jonas's character is extremely scripted. It's, I would call it a fictional character, character built to tell this story. And obviously, the story didn't exactly really go as it goes in the film. We have made a very straightforward molding of what happened, when, in which order, to build from pieces of reality. It's kind of a noir detective story.
Yeah, it is a noir detective story. It's nice. It's a nice notion. It's a very interesting idea in the documentary film to have a real character, a real person, but to build based on this person, build a sort of a narrator or this fictional character to tell the story. Why did you feel that this is what the story needed? Did you feel it would be more compelling or even more true in some way?
Yeah, I would argue that you can get closer to the truth by building the narrative so it can be followed if you are doing it. Also, to be honest, what we had after Jonas had gone to check out what he could find immediately after the unfortunate events, we only had a few completely almost disconnected. We needed to build it over the years with filling material. Like only 4 of the scenes, that you see in the film are actually filmed during this search trip Jonas did there. A couple of long interviews, 2 interviews with the girls and at the hotel, and then when he found Antti. But rest of the stuff, I mean, it's been mostly filmed between 2012 and 2015. Between those times, we made many trips there, trying to find out and trying to film more scenes and footage. And then it just had been edited to look like it's all happening in one trip.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The power of editing, of course. And
oh yeah, after I mean, you know, and when you say that, is it weird to script characters? That I think we are just maybe being a bit more honest about it, because you're making a film. It's a documentary film, yeah, but come on.
Yeah. This idea.
Final philosophical sense, you are, if you're editing something, you are leaving something out, you are adding something.
Yeah. This idea that documentary film is a film and the director is the one constructing the story, even if it's based on the actual story that happened. And this idea that maybe you can get closer to the truth by constructing it than by merely putting the camera and record it saute in a raw way. This is something that is clearly close to you, this idea. And I think it's really in line what's been happening for a long time in the world of modern documentary filmmaking.
Yes, I would say I could say pretty comfortably that you can get closer to the truth in this way. Of course, if you are staying true to the truth, of course you can make anything. That's the thing.
Yeah. What also really struck me in your film is how often these characters, not only Jonas, but the other characters, are talking about money. And there is a really haunting image in the film when 2 kids are fighting in the boxing ring. And in the background, there is a McDonald's neon. And at the first sight, it seems out of place. But then I thought, maybe not. Maybe this is the sort of a capitalist logic and the money logic driven to its most extreme, this hell you are depicting in this film. And I'm wondering what would be your reaction to that thought? Did it enter your mind?
Yes, you can see capitalist critique, I think, in the also the meeting of West and the East, because this is like a very highly regarded cultural tradition, boxing. You can, I guess, say that McDonald's is a very honored capitalist symbol in the Western culture. Also, it's.
I think it does depend on what you mean by honored.
Yeah. In here, it's maybe seen as a cross mass consumerist image, but going to McDonald's in the East is has a kind of a different meaning, because it's only the rich people, in a sense, who are affording to go for McDonald's. But the money is a very important theme in the film. Everything is going around it. It keeps, it's a central point to all the action that's happening in the film. And also, if you remember the scene where they are burning money, this fake money in the temples.
Yeah.
This is what I think was as a turning point in the film, that the money, this temple money and the burning offer allows Jonas to pass into the underworld, to where he meets then. As you remember, immediately after burning the money, he meets this friend of Lily.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was of course
sort of
built in a narrative to
work. Yeah, but
it didn't really happen that way.
Yeah, but you mean it's a sort of rite of passage for him?
It's well, the act of sacrifice in this festival, where the gates to the underworld are open and the spirits can pass through.
Yeah. And also, you mentioned before the noir reference. This is actually a very noir theme, isn't it? Money, greed, and sort of this hell that is created by greed and money. So this sort of gels together, I think, with the noir theme.
Well, we had a very, like one could say, maybe good luck also, because it seemed like reality and things that were happening were fitting very well all the noir cliches. For example, our femme fatale was wearing white, which was definitely not scripted. Just had this kind of noir elements falling into our hand from the material. We were actually quite worried that people would think we were overdoing it, when we actually just basically what making a noir cliche in itself.
Maybe it means,
but I guess reality can be a bit cliched quite often.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say.
Probably why they are cliches.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say, that maybe it means that the noir themes and noir cliches are, well, they come from somewhere, and maybe sometimes the reality, maybe they come from reality sometimes.
Yeah, but also this kind of story structures and stuff, we have to remember that also we worked for this for the 10 years we worked on this. It's starting to be hard to really discern I would say objectively the material and reality, more like as a filmmaker, you start to see things which might not be there in the material.
It is. It is also a film, I think, a side of money, side of heart of darkness, and this hell of a world you're depicting. It is also a film about, I think, some kind of madness and also some kind of sad fate of these characters. Do you believe that their background and the fact that maybe they were unable to escape that background contributed to that madness and their fate?
Well, obviously they were coming from quite rough backgrounds, and all their actions and the logic behind those actions, it's stemming from this. Probably most people wouldn't be having this kind of holiday if they go to Thailand. Well, fate, I don't know. I'm not making guesses on what was fate and what was simply bad luck and what was deliberate actions. And yeah, as I said, this movie is quite heavily scripted. So also from this point of view, it's maybe best not for the audience either to guess too much.
Yeah, what I meant by fate is not the deterministic idea that it was inevitable in some way, but I just meant how they ended up. Because of course, I'm not trying to say that they had to end up that way, but still, there is an element, I think, when they enter this realm of madness, I think there is an element of really maybe some kind of tragic inevitability about it.
Well, yeah, you might also get this feeling from the fact that the film was built around the premise of this inevitable descent into this place. And the film starts in a jail cell where Jonas is going around, he cannot get out. Everything was already loaded, fated to go wrong from the beginning of the film. And definitely this heavy feeling of unstoppable doom is built very heavily into the feelings we are currently filming.
Yeah. What was, if you take the audience on this kind of journey, inevitable journey to hell and towards doom, what was your thinking about what would you like the audience to get out of this experience, aside from being taken on this journey to hell, which is disturbing but compelling at the same time?
Well, the original, would you say, a tagline that we were asked to make like a one sentence tagline for the film. My original thought was, in the end, the maggots will eat your dreams. But for some reason, the producer didn't want to advertise it with this.
I can't imagine why. I think it would sell tremendously well.
Yeah, well, anyway, this was basically the feeling I was trying to aim the audience's feelings towards while watching this. I think it still says it pretty well. But yeah, there are no great answers or no light in the end of this tunnel. We left that out.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say it's maybe always a pleasant experience, but it's the experience of you made the experience of maggots eating your dreams in the end compelling in some way, which is, I think, a success. So thank you. Thank you for this conversation. Let's hope we can meet at the Krakow Film Festival in the future in person. Let's hope this is...
It would be great.
Yeah, let's hope this is all behind us pretty soon. Sadri Chetinkaya was here with us talking about the film Lost Boys. Thank you very much.
Thank you.